Well, here we are with episode number 6 already. I've got this sanded down so it just fits inside here. And actually what's going to drive this is the pressure on this shoulder right here. It's a nice fit. I think you can see what's going to happen here. Now, one thing is for sure. I don't want to tighten this up too much and end up splitting this piece, because I can envision that happening. Now, there's a couple of things here I want to mention. First of all, and probably most importantly, I normally don't wear the face shield when I'm turning pen blanks. However, got a lot more mass spinning around here, and like I mentioned, there is the danger of splitting this piece. If I was to get a bit of a catch when I try to part it right here, don't want to get hit with that thing. So, be wearing the face shield. And as I mentioned yesterday, I think just below this line here will be a good place to part it. Now I'm gonna part it maybe a little on the long side, and that way, I can always easily turn it down just a little bit more if I have to. Now, Walt was mentioning that if I accidentally do make it too short, I can always drill up from the bottom so that the mechanism will be seated a little bit further up, if you know what I mean. And once again, I'm going to use my chair clamp. One of the viewers named it a chair clamp. I kind of like that. From now on, every time I see this chair, I'll be thinking of the chair clamp. Okay, now I think I just round this over, and it should be the right length. Now I want to round this edge over just a little bit, and the reason being is because if the body does not center up properly with this tenon, it won't be quite as noticeable when I'm turning the knob on the top. At least that's my thinking right now. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have to go back to the chair clamp and take this little piece off here, and then if I round it over, it should be just right. Well, I can see I'm going to want to be really careful not to accidentally touch the live center with my chisel. And, well, let's get at it and see what happens here. Well, I think I'm going to do the rest with sandpaper now. But first, let's just check this. Oh yeah, I think it's going to catch. By the time I sand that down just a little, maybe 1/8 of an inch, it's going to catch on there. And not only that, but the heads from these screws will not be there. So that means that the mechanism will be just 1/16 of an inch further up more yet. So I think it's going to be just about right. And I'll use my live center here to make sure I get it as centered as possible. There we go. That should work. Once again, I don't want to get this too tight and split this piece here. All I need to do is just hold it. I think that'll be enough. Yeah, it's catching the threads. I think it's going to be okay. And once again, the day has just flashed on by here. And it's almost time to go and visit my wife in the care home. So I'll see if I can do a little bit more when I get back later this afternoon. If not, thanks for watching. Well, it's almost 3 hours later, and I am extremely anxious to see how this is going to look after it's got a little polish on it. So I'm going to do this one piece here. I think I can sand these little ridges off. I'm going to start out at 150 sandpaper and probably work my way right up to maybe 400, maybe even 800, we'll see. Then we'll put on some polish and we'll see what it's going to look like. At least that's the plan. Oh, I thought I had a crack here, and I realized that that's where the two boards were sort of laminated together. It scared me for a minute. Well, perhaps I should have waited for the holes to be drilled for the hardware, but like I said, I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like. Now we're going to find out. Guess I could speed it up a little bit here. It's only doing about 130 RPM right now. Okay, I'll rub that off and then I'll put some fresh stuff on. Better tighten it up a bit here. By the way, this is the cotton polish. So it's pulverized the wood a little bit. I think I got most of it off right now. Okay, and we'll put some fresh on. And now we'll remove it. Okay, we'll buff it a little bit. I'll crank it up to about 1,000. Okay. Got a little rough spot there. But isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. Thank you, Walt.